slow ass computer. All right, you're watching the Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast, and today we have extremely special guest, stand-up comedian, and very good friend of the channel. We've been trying to make this happen for a couple years, so we're happy to have you here.
I'm excited to be here, man. I love
to start with.
Oh yeah, dude, please.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I love your music. I love the support you give. One thing that's really cool about Dreaming Insomniacs is how much they help out, like, and support other artists that I see. Like, I always see you, like, tagging people and, like, hey, go follow this person, go check out this person. So, like, just know if you're watching Dreaming Insomniacs stuff, then you're already helping out other cool artists that Joe's finding.
Stuff. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. All right, so my first question for you drove you to pursue comedy.
Wow, I mean, I think it's a lot like most comedians, you get told that you're funny and that you should, you should do stand-up. That's sort of like what happens to most of us, is that we're all told that we should do it. I loved stand-up ever since I was a kid. I would watch, like I was obsessed with The Tonight Show because I didn't have cable as a kid, so I'd wake up or I'd stay up late and I'd watch The Tonight Show because you get to watch a little monologue, and I would memorize the jokes that Jay Leno had done the night before, and then I'd go out and do them to my parents' friends the next day. So I'm 7, but I'm walking up to adults being like, you hear about this Monica Lewinsky character? And doing Jay Leno Monica Lewinsky jokes, and my parents are like, you can't do that, you're 7, you don't know what that means. And so I'd always really, really wanted to do stand up and really wanted to try it. And then one of my friends, Raheem, had started doing open mics when I was in college, or when I was I was about 17, and he it was crazy to me that somebody I knew was doing stand up, and I was like, that's insane. Where do you do it? Who lets you do it? He's like, oh no, you just go to this open mic and blah blah. And so I went down there, and luckily at that same time some of Raheem's other friends had started, so we were all around 17, 18, and there was 5 or 6 of us, and so I think that made it a lot easier to jump in, was having this group of also younger friends that were coming up and starting with me and stuff, and none of those guys do stand up anymore, but it's just cool to have a little group when you first started, and being able to run a show. We ran a show out of a hookah lounge. So all of our friends that were under 21 could come to the hookah lounge because they couldn't go to bars. So it ended up being kind of a great hangout spot for not 21-year-old people yet in Vegas, because that's where I started, was out in Las Vegas. And so, it's just one of those gradual things of what made you want to start in comedy. It's so many things, but then it's so much harder to actually start in comedy. I meet so many people, especially after shows, they'll come up to you and be like, dude, I've always wanted to be a comedian. People say I'm funny and I should do it, and they always ask for advice on what they should do, and my advice is always the same for people, which is do it for 2 years and then ask me advice, because until you've done it for 2 years, I can't even there's nothing I could say. But I think that was another huge thing that made me want to be a comedian, was watching specials as a kid. You know what I mean? I would catch insane comedy specials back in the day, Patrice O'Neill was fucking amazing. I would love watching Christopher Titus when I was a kid. There's I'm forgetting so many, I'm sure, but I'd watch all these comedy specials. I'd be like, oh my god, these people are so fucking. Ron White, I didn't think the other blue collar comedy tour guys were very funny, but Ron White I always thought was hysterical. Yeah, I think that's about it.
You actually
Oh,
second question worst inspirations, so killed 2 birds in one stone right there.
I love killing birds and getting stoned. So
We do have a comment from someone. I'm trying to pull it up on the screen.
yeah, craving something scary.
We have 2 comments now. One from
Oh, cool.
Craven something. He's Yep, huge Wes Craven fan. He started the channel because Wes Craven is his favorite director. Good friend. He's been on the podcast as well. Mitch says Titus was hilarious.
Oh, it was. I'm sure we'll. Yeah, I think we're having some connection issues. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. But I tour a lot with Jamie Kennedy, and he's told me some awesome Wes Craven stories. And just like the biggest thing that I've gotten from Jamie talking about Wes Craven is just what an incredible like this kind of director just doesn't exist anymore, who's just willing to sit down with an actor and like figure it out. You know what I mean? Like if it's not working, like he wants to find what's going to work in it, and he's constantly looking for a way to like elevate the scene. I think Jamie's talked about it on his YouTube channel, but there's a really funny video or a really funny moment when they were like getting ready to film Jamie's death scene in Scream 2, and Wes is like they're talking about how much blood to use, and Wes just keeps being like, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. And obviously, like, you guys know how bloody Randy is in that death scene. He's like absolutely doused. But I think it's funny that Wes Craven is just sitting there behind the camera like, maybe a little more blood, maybe a little more blood.
Yeah, that was Wes's like catchphrase, more blood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love that. That's such a cool story. Now, what's your writing process for creating?
Well, so my writing process for for jokes is, everyone's is so different. But the way, yeah, sorry, I think we're having some connection issues, but I think I heard your question, which is how do you write comedy? Basically, my process is I let something organically sort of come to me, whether it's through conversation or joking around with my wife or whatever it is. I try to sort of like find a something that connects with somebody and makes them laugh, and then I say, okay, well, that connection clearly means something because it worked. So how can I build off of that? What does that connection mean? Jason Voorhees laughing out loud on that one. Thanks, buddy. I never thought I'd get such a nice compliment from such an awful serial killer as Jason Voorhees. It is funny to me of the idea of Jason Voorhees himself sitting at a computer watching this live stream and just like laughing through his ski mask, or his hockey mask. I mean, yeah. So I try to take something that like connects with somebody, like clearly connects with somebody, and try to like expand on that and build that out into sort of the evolution of a joke is you sort of have like a line or an idea, and that evolves into like a little joke, and then that evolves into a bit, right? When you've got like 3 or 4 little jokes out of it, maybe it's like a minute long, it's a little bit, and then you can put a couple bits together into a chunk, right? And then you get a couple chunks together, and now you've got like an act, and then you've got a couple acts together. Now you have like a theme of like an hour, right? So that's like the theory of like how you build out, an hour of material. But what I try to do is like write something that feels, like I said, genuine, like a connection with somebody. Can we hear a new joke? Man, you can go on my YouTube channel, and I have I post new bits that I do as YouTube shorts on there, So if you check out Kyle Anderson Comedy, you can hear some of my new jokes over on there. And Kyle Anderson Comedy on Instagram. I post jokes over there too.
Go follow.
Oh, I think we lost Joe. Now I'm in charge. Listen here, motherfuckers. We're the awake insomniac, or we're the not dreaming awake people now. Welcome to the Not Dreaming Awake People podcast. I'm Evil Joe, your host. I can't. This would be so funny if I like hacked this whole YouTube channel to do this. I'm the Dreaming Insomniacs now. I wonder if I can go on, because I can only see the comments that he's thrown up, so I'm trying to go to the live right now. Okay, there we go. There's Joe. There's Joe. Joe, I did not steal your show, Joe. Anything you heard was to the contrary.
That's okay, buddy.
The internet was not prepared. It's true, dude. My connection is going so brazy that it's going through the internet. It's fucking up Joe's shit. Because you don't realize this, Joe's actually, he's been a NASA scientist for about 3 years, and he's coming to us live from the International Space Station.
Oh my god, I'm glad I reloaded, so that's gonna help. Alright, so my next question is, what is your favorite...
What's my favorite what? Sorry, you cut out for a second. Oh. Looks like it's my show again, motherfuckers. Welcome back to the Not Dreaming Awake podcast. It's a podcast. This is a podcast where Joe just keeps losing internet connection. Do you guys have any, does the chat have any questions? Let's see. Hey, Kyle, what's the best way to reach you to send a direct message? Hit me up on Instagram, man. Kyle Anderson Comedy on Instagram.
I have come in through my phone. Is that better?
Yeah. Oh, that's way better. Oh, it's amazing now.
They look terrible. Shit.
I think it looks better than the other camera. I think you look great.
There's glare. There's so much glare. I might
Yeah.
have a hat too. I'm putting on a hat.
Glare in a hat, and we're there, baby.
Yeah, it's on right.
Jason Voorhees, but you've betrayed me on a personal level by not sharing a joke. And you know what? If there's one person you don't want to betray on a personal level,
it's Jason Voorhees.
It's Jason Voorhees, dog.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one you don't want to fuck with.
So, people, I have lost access to all my questions now. So, what you're going to want to do is leave us some questions in the comments here, and we'll answer them. I might have to plug this shit in, too, because it's going to die.
Yeah,
hold on.
All good. I want to ask you a question, Joe.
Okay.
How long have you been performing music live? Your fans might already know this, but I'm curious.
Actively, probably about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Live in front of people? That's crazy. Because
Yeah,
I'm so bad with instruments. See, I do stand-up every night, but I'm like, I could never... Going on stage and trying to play, like, piano in front of a group of people sounds fucking insane to me.
Oh, that's why I don't play piano. That shit's hard. I can get this out. I'm just going to hold it, because it's going to be easier. But yeah, no, I've been doing it about 10 years. I love it. It was scary at first. I had a lot of stage fright, if you will, but I overcame it by looking over the people, kind of like acting. You're pretending the camera isn't there, so it's the same idea. Yeah.
We got one question from Jason Voorhees, who said, "What's your favorite scary movie? It better be Friday the 13th."
Ooh, ooh. Threats, Jason. Come on, man.
Jason, this is probably gonna upset you. I've never seen Friday the 13th.
What? You've never
I
seen Friday the
I
13th?
I am, and I know this is gonna upset the audience. I am a baby man, and I don't like spooky, scary movies.
Well, you've
So
obviously seen Scream, right?
I've seen all the Screams.
All right.
And I've seen The Shining. I can get more into stuff that's like psychological thriller stuff. I like that.
Yeah. You like Kubrick's movies. Those are good.
Yeah.
Ones.
Yeah. And I love Scream because of all the meta narrative stuff that it has. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a horror movie. It's like also like really funny, and you know what I mean. And so,
and
like,
our buddy's in it.
Yeah, exactly. And our buddy's in it.
He's the fucking best. I'm not trying to take a moment to do that, but I have to.
Jamie is absolutely the best guy. Like, he could not be like a kinder, nicer, like better dude. And he loves the fans so much, like the Scream fans. Like when he goes to conventions and he sees all you guys, like he literally, like, he comes back and he's like, dude, just the love of like what we made. Like Scream is such a bigger, it's arguably maybe bigger now than it's like ever been. Like it's crazy. I mean, it just like keeps getting bigger and bigger. And so
I'm not gonna lie to you though, I really didn't like 6.
The newest one?
Yeah.
I've heard that from a lot of people. I didn't mind it as much. I definitely loved 5. I thought 5 was great, and I thought 5 was kind of divisive. But yeah, I've seen a lot more. I think 6 felt so much different than the other Scream movies.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
That it didn't quite connect as like, oh, this is a Scream movie, in the way that 5 was like such a Scream movie.
And I think I was the first person to notice the cameo you guys did in 5.
I think you were. Yeah. If you guys don't know, Jamie Kennedy Randy has a very subtle cameo in Scream 5, during which I had a hand in recording, and I didn't even know. That's the funniest thing, is it was so under wraps that I wasn't even allowed to know that I was helping do this. But we had recorded like on his podcast mic. So if you go watch his YouTube channel, Jamie's YouTube channel, his that same like setup that he records his videos on is where he did like the voiceover for it. But the directors had reached out and asked him to be one of the lines when the party is getting broken up at his niece's house. I think it's his niece's house.
Yeah. Someone's goofy ass dad is kicking us out.
Yeah, he says someone's goofy ass dad's kicking us out. And I remember recording that line. He was telling me it was for an audition when we were doing it, and I'm like, why do you need me? Because he records auditions all the time for stuff. You know what I mean? He's a big actor, so it's like, I'm like, why do you need me here to like record? He's like, I got to get this right, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, it's for something big, and I was like, okay. And like, I didn't know anything more than that. And then when we watched the movie, because it was funny, for 5, Jamie and I we went together to the theater. It was so funny because we were walking out and people were being like, is that like but we went and saw 5 together, and then when we were leaving, he was like, did you hear it? And I'm like, what? He's like, did you hear my cameo? I'm like, no. And I had to rewatch it myself.
Yeah, I didn't catch it on the first go. It wasn't until I bought it, because Jamie mentioned it in a video, and he's like, some fucking crazy motherfucker out there is gonna find it, and he's gonna be the first to I was like, I'm gonna be the first to do it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah. Joe gets that medal for sure.
Cool. It's cool. And then all the reports started coming out about how that's there after that. All right, so I'm just gonna fucking do it on the fly now, man. Fuck it. So yeah, how did you end up meeting Jamie Kennedy and forming this business connection with him? Yeah,
so a mutual friend of ours, and comedian Steven Randolph, the very funny comic, posts some really, really good stuff on Instagram. He had a podcast, and I was producing it at that time. And Jamie came on as a guest, and I had made some clips for that podcast, and Jamie needed like a similar style of clip for like social media, like podcast clips and stuff. And so he had reached out and been like, hey, could you help me with that? And also I've been trying to like set up a podcast studio in my garage and all this stuff. And so I sort of came over and helped him out. And like through, I had worked for some other big YouTube channels in the past that I legally cannot mention, but are like very, very big. And they, I learned a lot about like how to sort of grow a YouTube channel. And so I was telling Jamie about a bunch of that, and then we started sort of working together on his YouTube channel. And we've gotten to make a lot of really cool stuff there. We've made some really cool videos about like how he got cast in Screams, and there's a lot of really cool Scream videos that we've made on there. So if you guys are horror fans, definitely check those out. We made some really cool videos about the making of Son of the Mask, and sort of how the studio like mucked up that whole process and like made the movie like really bad.
I saw it as a kid and I loved it.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is a lot of kids at the time when they watched it loved it.
Yeah.
Because I do think the directing of that movie is really cool.
It is.
It's
like
like
I want to see the PG-13 version.
So I can't talk much about it, but I have seen the cut.
Okay. Is it better?
It is much better.
All right.
Here's the thing. It is still the same movie, right? Like the movie is not inherently different, but there are so many scenes that are that the studio cut out that like early on in the movie make Jamie's character a much better dad and a much better guy and a much nicer person, and like way easier to sympathize with later in the movie.
Because the movie, as it came out, portrays him as like a man-child.
Right. Which is like one of the traits of this guy, but in the more PG-13 version, he's allowed to be like actually charming. And like you see that the man-child thing is like one part of him, but he's also like a great artist. Yeah, he's more layered. Like he's a better character. And so I think the movie does a lot of things like that in that other cut that the theatrical was just like robbed of. And it was the the director and Jamie. I mean, they both had no say in ultimately what got put out.
Big
and
franchise
so
like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, imagine if you wrote a song, and then somebody and the part of the song that's actually like emotionally resonant and like you think is like the good part of the song, they come in and they're like, actually, we want to change all these lines to bubblegum, yummy pop. And you're like, what?
It's funny. It's funny you say that. I had an opportunity to sell out like in 2017, right when we were making our second album, and they wanted me to make music that wasn't me. The guy was a weirdo. He had like connections to Paramount with his emails. Rada. I stopped hanging out with him, but they wanted me to make music that wasn't me. Just like what you just said. I didn't want to fucking do that. I told him to go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason to, because ultimately it's like, any kind of art you literally just have to make it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have to ultimately just be like, this is something that I wish existed already. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I like with my YouTube channel. Like, that's what I try and make videos that I would want to click on. That I would be like, that's crazy. Like, that
Speaking
excite
of
me.
your YouTube channel, both you and Jamie's channels are featured on this channel.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
So anybody who wants to go check them out, a quick, easy way to get there is just go to featured channels on the Dreaming Insomniacs.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's some fun stuff to watch on there. My YouTube channel gets weird.
It does. Dude, your videos are awesome, though.
Thank you, man. My most recent one, just so your viewers have like an idea of what I do, I went undercover working for China, video editing propaganda for them, just to like learn how it worked and like who was behind it and all that stuff. And I got like $900 from the government of China.
You reverse spied them.
I reverse spied them. They got so mad, dude.
That's
when
funny.
when they finally found the video, they got so pissed.
Well, this shit won't be allowed in China, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah,
Jason
bubble
Voorhees
gum,
thinks
bubble
that's
gum.
funny,
Haha.
yeah.
I love the idea of Jason Voorhees just laughing at a computer, but like totally like.
Yeah, like he isn't Family Guy. Like he
Yeah,
has to go, but he has to go kill that chick over there.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Dude, no, like I said, your videos are so good. I especially love the fake mobile game ads because I've run into that problem a lot.
Oh yeah, dude. It's crazy how prevalent that is. That video kind of blew up because of how many people on Reddit like had that same experience. Like it got shared to Reddit, and then like all these people on Reddit were like, "Holy fuck, dude! I fucking hate those ads." And
Yeah,
so,
me too,
like,
because I've actually fallen for it before.
and if you don't know what we're talking about those mobile game ads you'll get where it's like pull the pin and like let the lava go down into the water and save the princess or whatever,
Yeah,
and then you download those games and they're not real. They just
speaking
don't
of
exist.
Podcasts, by the way, Kyle has a podcast called Dev Hell, and it's
Yeah.
about the development hell of projects in the arts. I really hope you do one on GTA 6 because that's a long time coming now.
It's gonna be a long time coming. The hardest part about that podcast is when to cover things, right?
Yeah, right.
Because like sometimes like something like GTA 6, it's like the release of GTA 6 is also gonna be insane. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
however, because GTA 5 is like, I think like if you close your eyes and you imagine like video game, you probably imagine like Mario Brothers or like GTA 5, right? Like,
yeah, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
yeah. I mean, look, I think Red Dead Redemption's even better than GTA 5, but I think GTA 5 is like such quintessential video game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and so it's kind of, they've added so much to it over the years that it's so in depth and it's so robust that like for 6 to match what 5 brings to the table is already such an insane thing, like to have the same amount of content, but then they've got to do that GTA thing where they like X times 6 the content. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then overdo it with the microtransactions on the online.
yes. Well, I mean, funny. We all got to get shark cards.
I'll be honest. I've never bought a shark card. Am I the only person?
They said, I don't remember if I have or not. But they said, I don't know if this is like stayed or if this is like a real thing, but I saw a headline that was like, GTA 6 will be, you'll be able to like cash out the money in the game for real money.
Oh, wow.
So like, imagine if shark cards went both ways, right? Like,
that'd
if
be
you
pretty
could,
cool, right?
Right. It would be pretty cool, like heist money all day in GTA 6, but then like cash it out.
Make money off of the game.
But
Rockstar has so much money at this point with 5 that they can afford it.
It's crazy.
It is. It's nuts, bro. It's fucking nuts. But I mean, as much as I don't like where the company's going, I still will buy every game they put out.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you always hear these like horror stories of like crunch and you know, like how bad these people have to, like how hard they have to work to get these games done, but the games are so good.
I know. Like,
we should talk more about Red Dead. Yeah, Red Dead 2 rules.
Just playing it, dude. It's so good.
And I love too that you can buy the just the online version of that game. Yeah. And like it'll go on sale every couple months. It's like $5.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just like I get so many friends into that game because I'm like, just buy this $5 online version and like roll around with me in the fucking Old West and you know what I mean? Like, it's just so fun.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I play PlayStation and PC.
Okay. Wait, so I think some of the PC games are cross-platform if you want to game sometime.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I have an Xbox One still, unfortunately, but whatever.
Hell yeah.
Gives a shit, it works.
We all get one of them. I just I'm really excited about the new Baldur's Gate.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited to play that.
The new Spider-Man also, that looks awesome.
Dude, the new Spider-Man looks so good. It's like, what if Spider-Man was Prototype? And I'm like, fuck,
Yep.
you have all my money, dog. Like, what are you talking about?
The remasters for Prototype. Those games are awesome.
I love Prototype, dude.
Well, you know, the original Prototype was actually originally the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 game.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't fucking know that.
Yep, you can find the gameplay for it because they uncovered a demo for Spider-Man 4. It's on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Those OG Spider-Man games are the bomb. Like Spider-Man 2 for the
Oh,
PS2.
yeah,
that was
dude.
my childhood, man.
Yeah, dude. Have you played the new one, the PS4 version?
Yeah. I beat it like 4 times.
I think it's so fun. I mean, it's so good. I think
For
Miles
some reason,
Morales
whenever
should
I
have been
play those
DLC,
games, though,
but
when I'm swinging around, I like have to listen to Linkin Park. I don't know why. Like New Divide is fucking awesome when you're swinging around New York City.
Yeah, you're not spider punk. You're like spider pop punk.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny. I was supposed to have Chester's first wife on here, but she bailed last minute.
Damn.
That's whatever. I don't give a shit. I've had other great guests. Like, you ever play Mafia 3?
Yeah.
I had Alex Hernandez, who played Lincoln, on.
Oh wow,
Twice.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
didn't
cool.
record the first time. He comes back on a year later and gave me an hour and a half. It was fun. In the
Wow,
best
that's awesome.
way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Shared a little thing about Vin Diesel that he never shared it with anyone else. I guess Vin Diesel invited him to his camp and they talked about all their levels of fame. And Alex talked about how he was in the game, but it was like small. You know, people reach out to him on Instagram or whatever. And Vin said, "I missed that." Because Vin's on this different strata, you know?
Right.
Fucking crazy.
I'm in a different level now, and I miss stuff like that.
That's a great impression, man.
I was doing it the other day. The Vin Diesel videos make me laugh so hard. Have you ever seen those videos where he's just dancing in his like on Facebook?
Yeah.
He's like dancing to Rihanna songs.
On the side of the war,
so
I
cool.
pick Vin Diesel over The Rock. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I agree. Vin Diesel is such an interesting entity in this world. He's such a the lore that surrounds him. Like, have you ever heard the story of him when he was in I believe it's Saving Private Ryan? It's a war movie that Spielberg did. I think it's Saving Private Ryan.
The one with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
He's in that, right? Is he in?
Is he? I'll be honest, Kyle. I've never seen it.
Vin Diesel war movie. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. So, in Saving Private Ryan, you know, they're shooting a scene, and everybody just looks too similar sitting there, and they're like, oh, we should just have one of the guys take their shirts off, you know, like they would be in a war movie, you know, a bunch of guys sitting around. One of them doesn't have their shirt on. And so they walk up and they're like, they go up to Vin Diesel, who's I don't know, 19 at the time. He's like nobody right now, right? This is the biggest thing he's ever done. And they go up to him, and yeah, it's a Steven Spielberg movie, and they're like, can you go ahead and take your shirt off for us? And he goes, I only take my shirt off in Vin Diesel movies. and they're like, oh, I didn't realize you were a director. And he's like, I'm not yet.
Yo, that sounds like some shit I'd say if I was stoned.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great. I love that. I hope that's a true story.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's also lore that when he sold the Riddick movies, because he got do you know about how he got the rights to make Chronicles of Riddick?
No.
So he was obsessed with that. I guess the video game or a book. I've never played it, but he's really loved it, and he wanted the rights. So when he did the cameo at the end of Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, they were negotiating how much to pay him, and it was a thing where that studio had gotten Chronicles of Riddick in acquiring a whole nother studio. So it's they owned it, but they didn't mean to buy it or even really want it.
Kind of with Disney and The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, exactly. And so, even though that may have been a little more calculated, but but
Oh shit.
but he basically went in there and he told them, he was like, okay, I'll do the cameo in Tokyo Drift at the end of Tokyo Drift for free, or for like union scale, which is like $400 or something. But just give me the rights to Chronicles of Riddick, this thing you own that you don't care about. And they were like, sure.
He was in Pitch Black anyway. He's the main character. He is
Right.
Riddick.
Right.
And then he made the video games after that.
So there's like all this lore that he went in with the Chronicle of Riddick movies in 3 locked binders, like 3 binders that had like a lock and key, like leather bound binders. And he was like, this is the script for the entire trilogy.
Oh shit.
Like all 3 movies are finished. And he laid down and he like holds this key and he has on like a necklace around his neck and he's like, you only get to read them if you greenlight all 3.
Oh my god, that's awesome. He's so smart. If that's true, he's a fucking genius.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's
so
wild, dude.
So you want to hear something funny, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
When I was 6 years old, I begged my sister Jessica to let me watch Scream 3.
Uh-huh.
It was a huge mistake. I was terrified of Ghostface for years. Every Halloween, I got freaked the hell out. I became like 14, and my stepmother let me watch the first movie. And I turned that fear into love.
Mm-hmm.
And I became like too obsessed. I got to know like the names of the masks and shit, like Fantastic Faces for the first one, Fearsome for the second, As Seen in Scream for the third, all that crazy shit. Then I let it go for like 10 years, right? And then I made the connection with you and Jamie. I've had Lee Waddell on the podcast. We gave you a shout out.
He's so nice, dude. I got to meet him the other day for the first time, like last month. He came out to one of Jamie and I's shows, and he's just the coolest dude.
He mentioned that, yeah. He's like, tell him I sent you. I'm calling him out now. Get his ass on here.
That's awesome.
I mentioned trying to get Jamie on here. He's like, good luck with that. I'm like, I know. His schedule's so fucking busy. I understand.
Yeah, I think he could, just keep asking him, man. I think he'd make time. As Jason, this is killing me with laughter. Chronicles is a hot mess. Oh, okay. Is that?
Yeah, it was. Pitch Black and Riddick are better films, in my opinion.
Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah. PG-13 was the worst thing that was done to that movie. It should have been rated R like the first and third.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so my next question for you, Kyle. What's your... I already asked that. Shit, because somebody else stole it from me. Thanks,
Well, let me ask you this. What's your favorite Scream movie?
The first one.
Yeah. For me, it's 2.
2? All right.
I love 2.
Timothy Olyphant, man.
I love Timothy Olyphant. I think Nev and Jamie are both really, really good in that movie.
Yeah, I'm still pissed that they killed him, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody is. But, there's something to be said for if you die in, such an incredible way, it kind of is almost better than living forever.
True.
You know what I mean? Like personally, in my opinion, I think it's cooler to have been killed by Wes Craven than to be killed the way Dewey was killed in 5.
That was some bullshit.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm so pissed about that too.
I know. But like, I think like if you're gonna be killed, man, getting killed by the master and being killed is pretty cool.
Right, more blood too. Didn't Jamie say Wes used the bloody take?
Oh yeah, he used the bloodiest take possible.
Yeah.
Which Jamie also was like, I knew he would.
Wait, so that must be also really good. What is that like to be able to ask any questions about anything Jamie's ever done anytime you want?
I mean, it's cool. I try not to do too much because I know, it's like, but what's cool is when we'll be like on the road doing stand up, after a show and we go like hit like some little diner or something, and we're like a Waffle House or whatever, and we get to talk, and he tells me some crazy stories, or we'll be over at his house, and he's got so much stuff on his walls of like, gifts and awards and different, props from different movies that he's like been able to take home and stuff. And he's got this little bloody hand, and it's in like a little box, and it's like this little bloody like fake child's hand. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's a gift from Wes Craven.
I believe it.
I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
Dude, he was the sweetest sick motherfucker on the planet.
That's what I've heard. That's really seems to be that he was like the sweetest little fucking crazy weirdo. Yeah, which is what you want from an artist.
In my adulthood, I used to watch Wes Craven interviews.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, he fucking helped me. I cried when he died. I never met this man in my life.
Yeah, he seemed to just be incredible. So I'll tell you this. This is a little exclusive scoop for you. But coming soon on Jamie's channel, probably in the next month or so, probably late August to early September, based on when we get the content out. We are going to be having on Rose McGowan, and she tells some awesome, and I won't spoil any of the amazing gold that she lays out, but she tells some amazing stories about being on the set of Scream and working with Wes, and there's some great stuff that she hasn't shared anywhere else, so that's really exciting.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch that, man. Rose is awesome. She's responded to me before on social media. She's a sweetheart.
She's really, really sweet.
And coming from someone who's had a tough go at life, to see someone who's also had a tough go at life, to make it through all that shit and still be strong, I respect it. I really do. Dude,
and it's like, you'll see when we release all the episodes of this podcast, like, you don't even know the half of it. It's crazy the stuff that she survives. She's so strong. She's so cool. And I think the world of Rose McGowan. I think she's fucking rad.
I do too. I got some shade to throw at Scream 4.
I'm sure.
Because there was a scene where I think it was Marielle Jaffe's character gets gutted, and they have like a door frame wrapped around her head. And Dewey's like, Tatum, my sister. And there's a whole sweet moment that, because Dewey never really acknowledged his sister throughout the sequel.
Right.
Aside from the ashes in 5, which I'm glad they did. But the Weinsteins cut that scene out for obvious reasons.
Wow.
It's like, really? It was well before it all came out. So
wow.
I'm not going to say what it was, because that's not my business to share. But I wanted to throw some shade at that movie for them cutting that shit out.
That's insane, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
This
insane.
is a better movie for Scream 4 if you put all the deleted scenes and the alternate opening in there.
Oh, I believe it,
cut out
yeah.
the hospital scene altogether and leave it on that cliffhanger. It's a better movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think Scream 4 is probably my least favorite movie.
Yeah,
well,
same.
Of the series.
It's gone down. It was my first Scream in a theater. It was Wes Craven's last film, so I think when I saw it, I just appreciated that it was better than My Soul to Take.
Sure.
Because that movie was really
I've never
bad.
seen My Soul to Take.
It was bad. Don't watch it. Wes has Red Eye is a way better Wes Craven movie. That one's great.
What's your favorite movie you've seen lately?
Oh, Oppenheimer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I might be crazy here. I didn't love Oppenheimer.
Really?
I thought it was so slow. Like, so boring.
Yeah, it was slow.
Like, nothing like, it's like one of our most exciting directors is directing a movie where guys like read from file folders in like offices. Like, it's so boring.
You make a valid point, and I think there was an unnecessary amount of Josh Peck in there. It was unnecessary.
You picked a little too much Peck. No, I think like I prefer the other side of Nolan. Like, there's almost like two sides to Nolan, which is like the very Oppenheimer-y part of it, and then the very like Tenet-y, like action-y Like, and I kind of like that, like, Nolan sauce, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
for me, it just didn't have, like, that, like, fucking visceral action,
Not like The
cool
Dark
fun.
Knight.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I think I just like a different flavor of Nolan's stuff, because I do like Nolan's movies.
Like Memento. That's
Yeah,
real good.
exactly. Yeah. Love Memento, love Inception, love
Yeah,
Tenet.
Inception's great.
You know, I'm kind of unpopular opinion that I really, really like Tenet too.
I haven't seen Tenet or Dunkirk yet.
So Tenet is a movie that, in my opinion, you should watch, just straight up watch twice.
Okay.
Like almost back to back. Maybe give yourself like a day or two. And then also, here's my other pitch on why Tenet's good. My theory, because the whole idea of Tenet is like time running forward and backwards simultaneously, right? Like that's the idea of Tenet, is like palindromes and like things going in reverse and backwards. So my theory about Tenet is that it's actually the third movie in the trilogy.
Okay. So there's other movies that...
And so he's probably... I think he's going to make 2 more movies that are the second and first movie.
Are you
and
talking
then
like
it'll make more
Unbreakable
sense.
Split scenario where Split, you don't know it's a sequel to Unbreakable until like...
No. I think you'll know. I think it'll like be another Tenet movie. But I think he's doing the trilogy in reverse order. That's my shot
sounds like
call.
Something Nolan would do.
Right. That's why I'm
I
like...
have a controversial opinion. I think Nolan does the out of order sequences in movies better than what's his face, Quentin Tarantino.
I think so too. Yeah. He's really, really good at it.
Yeah, he is. I love Nolan. He's fucking awesome, dude. I mean, I thought Cillian Murphy did a great job in that movie. There's no denying that.
I think with what he was given, Cillian did a great job. I don't think anybody... I didn't love that movie, but I don't think anyone was bad in that movie.
No, even Emily Blunt. She was awesome.
I thought Emily Blunt was good.
her.
I thought
My
Florence
stepmom
Pugh was
like,
good.
Yo, what'd you think of Emily Blunt? I was like, wait, that was Emily Blunt? Holy shit, that was Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I mean, she was great. Robert Downey Jr. was great.
That might have been one of his best roles, honestly.
I think it's like it's very much up there. It's great.
I didn't recognize Downey until like 5 minutes into his performance.
There was a couple things that I thought was this isn't really a spoiler, but at one point they're talking about like a vote from a bunch of senators, and one of the characters is like, "Who was the holdout?" And they do like it's like in a Marvel movie when they reference like a superhero that they haven't like done a movie of yet, and everybody's like, "Ooh, they mentioned fucking Namor," whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's like, they're like, "Who was the holdout?" And they're like, "This up and coming senator named John F. Kennedy."
Yeah.
And they treat it like they're like this guy, Blue Beetle. Ever heard of him? Like, it's crazy.
Exactly. This guy's gonna piss a lot of people off and get shot in the face.
Yeah,
Just letting you know.
This kid, you guys don't like him, but your kids are gonna love him.
Kids are gonna love him. He's gonna fuck around too much, though. Oh. There we go. It cut out while you coughed. That worked.
Oh yeah, I did a little mute, courtesy
smart,
mute.
smart.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea, dude. This has been really fun. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course, dude. I'm glad we were able to figure this out.
Me too.
Yeah, dude. I really loved Barbie.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
I thought Barbie was like a really good like example of a movie that is like fucking directed by one person's like vision. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. I heard it was funny.
yeah, it's pretty good. Some of the jokes landed for me, some of them didn't, but like I thought like overall it was like really, really well, like the production design and the set dressing and the costuming and everything is so good, and then the story is like really fun and like interesting. And so I had a lot of fun with Barbie. I think I'm gonna try to see Blue Beetle today or tomorrow. It looks fucking awful.
Freedom yet?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. How was it?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you appreciate it. What I want to know, and here's my hot take on Sound of Freedom, because I think it's great that this movie came out and is like raising awareness for this, truly heinous thing. I think it's amazing that it beat Indiana Jones. I think that's awesome. I think it shows that like independent filmmaking can come out and like find an audience against mainstream filmmaking. I think all that's amazing. What I'm interested to see is if any of this money makes it back into helping fight human trafficking.
That is a great That's a great point, Kyle. And like all people in the world, you'd be the person to ask that question. I've seen all your videos on your YouTube channel, all your docs. So
yeah, so that's sort of what I'm wondering with it, where I'm like, I think it's great that that this movie's making money, that this movie's making people think. You know what I mean? Like it. I think it's awesome. I just want to know, is the money just going to buy some dude a big house? Or like, is the money gonna like go to actually, because like all these people that are like buying all, there's this movement to like buy tickets for other people to like help fight human trafficking. And it's like, well, is that the best way, or is there like a thing we could give our money to that would actually fight human trafficking and not just like pay off AMC?
That's part of why I boycotted The Flash, because after that Ezra Miller shit, I just couldn't. I was like, nah. Dude,
I have the AMC pass, so I just get like 3 free movies a week. Yeah. And for like $25 a month, if you don't have it, it's great. So I just see everything. So I did see The Flash is so bad, and Ezra Miller's awful. Dude, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Okay.
There's an opening sequence to that movie, Joe, where a bunch of babies are falling to their death out of a hospital window. Like 12 babies are like careening to their death, and the Flash just stops and eats a bunch of Oreos.
What is Warner and DC thinking?
Dude, he puts a baby in a microwave.
It Chapter 2 when they crushed the kid on screen. I was like, nope.
It's gnarly, dude.
The
Flash puts a baby in a microwave, and I'm like, you can't have the guy who's like out there like abusing kids like be putting a baby in a microwave.
You know what pissed me off? I looked up what he got. He got a slap on the fucking wrist, $500 fine, and a year of probation.
Dude, it's nothing, dude.
Are you kidding?
Nothing.
Michael Keaton deleted one of my comments on his posts on Instagram.
Wow.
And I called him out for deleting the comment about working with him and taking the money while he lives his lavish life and all the rest of the world lives in poor whatever, and all these keyboard warriors are saying, go at the studio, rudder. I'm like, dude, I already boycotted the film. Also, freedom of speech. I'm not abusing Michael Keaton. I can have an opinion.
Right.
I live in America. What happened to opinions?
Right. At the end of the day, Michael Keaton did agree to work with Ezra Miller,
He agreed to it, and he knew, probably.
Right. It's like, well, there's so many scenes in the movie where Ezra Miller's like running, as the Flash, and it's all like slow-mo because he's like going super speed or whatever, right? And there's like scenes where he's like running past like just normal, like just like pedestrians. They're like standing there, and I kept leaning over to my friend and going like this, like to my that like the Flash is like mid-running, just like choking women out on the street.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
Because it's like, why are we letting this guy who's like seemingly has tried to fight like every person that lives in Hawaii?
Yeah, he doesn't like Hawaiians, everyone.
No, but he's obsessed with being there and fighting them ostensibly.
He's offended my friends in the LGBTQ community. I think he's faking that.
I think he is too. But it is one of those funny classic things where you have to be like we have to be like Ezra. Like I've seen that meme that's like, have you seen Ezra Miller? He's abusing children. And it's like they're abusing children.
Yeah, I got cussed out for that too. I'm like, no, I'm gonna call him.
Which is like, obviously, I don't want to. I'll use anybody's pronouns. To me, it's just like a respect thing. It's like whatever. I don't care, man. I'll call you whatever you want. Like, it's But
but they're
at the
faking
same
it,
time,
you
it's like if you're, I do think like part of it is just like because there's a weird. If you heard that story about him pulling the gun at at that barbecue.
Yep, I've heard all the stories. This is why.
So it's like, it's like that guy pulling that gun at that barbecue is so like indicative of like he'll pretend to be anything he needs to like win an argument, you know?
Yeah, No, I can tell he's a swift talker, and he's clearly good at it. He got to where he got somehow,
dude, and he must have fucking nudes of the head of Warner Brothers or something, because it's like, what, like, how the fuck do you keep all that? And then the movie,
Island footage.
I mean, dude, the movie lost like $200 million or something.
Yeah, so it's not paying his court fees.
Yeah, well, dude, fucking it. I read that Barbie made more in its opening day than Flash made in its entire run.
Well, it deserves it, because do you hear about Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling grooming minors? No. You don't hear anything about Ryan Gosling, and he was a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse kid.
Yeah, that's true, dude. And he's been around forever.
Yep.
And he's been hot forever. Yeah. He's been like the hot dude in Hollywood since Drive, like. Yeah. So it's like, if anybody was going to have some shit come out, you'd have heard about it. I mean, dude, you're hearing it with dude, even Lizzo. I mean, the Lizzo shit's crazy. Did you hear about the banana?
You're being so mean to her.
Did you hear about the banana?
No, what happened?
So there, this huge article came out that said that she was like forcing her background dancers to like do all this weird sexual shit, and that this is just the article I read. I do not know if any of this is true. This may all not be fucking true at all. I don't know. But the article that I read said that when they were in Amsterdam, Lizzo hired a prostitute to like come backstage at the show. Yeah. And she was having the prostitute like put like bananas from the craft services table like in her vagina.
Yeah.
And then she made her background dancers like eat the bananas.
Oh my god, that's fucking weird.
Which is so weird.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So it's a little interesting because I don't know if I believe this guy for the one name he said, because the guy he named is friends with Jamie, and I trust Jamie over him. But the guy Isaac Cappy who called out Seth Green, do you believe him about Seth Green, or I don't know?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's a weird scenario, right?
It is a weird scenario, but like I don't know anything about Isaac. I don't know enough about Isaac Cappy to the idea that like Seth Green has like secret rooms built in his house seems insane.
It seems insane, but it seems like it's right Seth's alley too. Like it's interesting. I don't know.
I'm
not taking a side on it.
I've I worked with Seth. I've done like 2 podcasts with Seth Green. He was always like really, really fucking nice and cool. So I don't know.
So you don't get a satanic pedophile vibe from him?
No.
And you could tell. I could get a vibe from somebody and tell.
Yeah, I could get a vibe from somebody. I've never gotten like a satanic vibe from
Seth
that person.
Was fucking with Isaac.
I mean, I could definitely see that being possible, but also it's like when people have psychotic breaks, they have psychotic breaks. Like and
a lot of people who were close to Isaac said it was a psychotic break, which I believe. I mean,
that kind of stuff is gnarly, and I've seen comics that I know that aren't famous, aren't anybody you would know, have psychotic breaks like this where they think. There was one guy that I knew that he's like still having psychotic breaks on Facebook, but for a while he was convinced that none of his friends were real. And that they were all like hired actors that were hired to pretend to be these people. And I'm like, this is, Brady, you have lost the plot. Because now no one can even help you.
He's taking way too much acid, is what it is.
So it's like, that could have been Isaac Cat, who knows?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't really believe him from the beginning. But I thought it was an interesting topic to bring up because I don't hold a side on it. I just wanted to know what you thought because I figured you knew about it.
Yeah, I know about it. I just don't know enough about it. I mean, I would definitely err on the side of like, sounds like a classic textbook psychotic break to me. But again, I don't I never knew the guy, so I can't really speak to it.
Some of the things he said had credence, like the things about Jimmy Savile. That's true.
Yeah, well, I mean, when a lot of people have psychotic breaks like this, they
It's
weave
truth.
in truth to a lot of stuff. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And it's what you build around that truth that starts to be the wild narrative that you believe. You know?
Yeah. It's hard for me to fathom when.
How funny would it be? Like, I don't know. I did a couple podcasts with Jimmy Savile. He's cool.
Yeah. Like when he's talking about how it says like we need to talk about chicken. Maybe he was trying to give him a role on Robot Chicken.
Right. Like, who knows? Like, who the fuck knows? Or maybe he wanted to go get fucking Raisin Canes.
Maybe.
You know? I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily mean that. That's why like all this shit. Like there are true things that have come out, but then you have like these things that are like accusations that aren't necessarily true, and it can destroy somebody's entire career. Have you seen Seth in a movie in the past 4 years since this happened? Because I haven't, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Jamie's got a new movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Suck with
Don't
Matt
Suck.
Wright.
Yeah, and he can't even talk about it right now, I don't think. Because of the actor strike. I mean, we can talk about it, but he can't.
Oh, okay, good.
No, we could talk about it, but he's not allowed to promote it anymore right now, which sucks.
Yeah.
But
it makes
but
Don't Suck right now.
yeah, exactly. It sucks for Don't Suck.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen it, but my parents went to the premiere because they had a premiere in Vegas, and Jamie invited my parents. My parents went to it. My parents loved it.
Jamie invited your parents to the premiere.
Yeah,
That is so sweet.
I know, he's so sweet. He's met them a few times.
I couldn't make it to one of your guys' shows, and he offered a full refund. I was like, no, dude, keep it.
Oh, that's sweet. Dude, you gotta just come to one of our shows. We'll get you in for free. You don't even have to buy a ticket, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, well, whenever we're around, I'm gonna try to be on the East Coast at some point this year. So.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
I'll
I'll
be
get
around
out there. I'll even bring my father if I can.
Hell
if I
yeah.
get him to. He's 74, so.
Hell yeah. Bring all of them.
Dude, we've been trying to do this for 3 years. We finally did it.
I know, dude. I'm so stoked. This is a great hang.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily want to go into those topics, but we rolled with it. You know, we didn't go too far into the rabbit hole, if you will.
Absolutely.
All right, so I got one final question for you, Kyle.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any plugs and shout-outs that you want to give to anybody?
Yeah, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, check out Kyle Anderson Comedy on YouTube. Like you said, it's on the feature channels on Dreaming Insomniac. I'm the same thing on Instagram. And then my podcast is Dev Hell. And like I said, we go into the development hell on different movies and video games and albums and all kinds of stuff that went through development hell. I'm going to be doing a video pretty soon, collaborating with a pretty exciting comedian, buddy of mine by the name of Colin Shoemaker, and he does pedophile busts, like those videos where they'll do pedophile busts. But he does a really funny spin on it where he almost does it. He comes up to them like he's a game show host and tells them if they answer enough trivia correctly that he won't call the cops. He always calls the cops, obviously, but it's so funny. He's like asking these pedophiles like game show trivia.
That is awesome.
And it's hysterical content. So definitely go check out, if that sounds funny to you, go check out Colin Shoemaker's YouTube.
It'll prevent me from going on the actual list and showing up at their houses with a baseball bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, this has been a pleasure having you on, man. This has been the Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast with Kyle Anderson Comedy. Go subscribe. Go follow him on Instagram. Kyle, stick around just for a minute in the studio. We'll just
Hell yeah.
quick chat. All right, bye, everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks for watching, guys.